propels us to betterness, to greatness. For ourselves, it's not so much other people telling you you're not wonderful. You have to know that yourself. But you telling yourself you could be better. We always can do better. We always can learn. The world is so big. The information is so vast. And I was looking at, yesterday I had a wonderful show on Ted Turner on Captain Planet. Oh. And about Ted Turner, who is the creator of CNN and AOL, Time Warner, and how he was pushed out of his own company, and what do you do with that, and how do you manage that? And yet he had a passion from a young man to be part of fixing the earth. And he always, always, always knew who he was. And when you read stories of great men and women and inventors and heroes and heroines, you get a sense that from a very early time, they knew who they were going to be. And even when people around them didn't believe it, or their circumstances didn't accept it, they knew somewhere inside. And so if you have that strength inside of yourself where you know where you should be doing, where you should be going, what you should be doing, where you should be doing it, stay strong to that. Stay true to that. Yes, you're going to bump your little knees. You're going to maybe hit your little head. You're going to make some errors and mistakes, but we don't have to be perfect to be perfect, because we're already in perfection, because God has had something to do with our lives. So this is Mama T, Voice of Wisdom. We're coming to the top of the end of our first hour, and I want to just share a couple of little notes with you before we get into. There's a wonderful little video I'm gonna play, because I think they're saying it even better than I am. But there are 10 signs that show that you're true to yourself. So if you're taking notes, if not, you can always reach us. We put these things on our website. I think Dee posts them and keeps them. One way to know that you're being true to yourself is you're honest with yourself about what you think, what you feel, what you want, but more importantly, what you need. There are times when we really need something, but we won't allow ourselves to ask for it because we have pride, or we think nobody will answer, or we're afraid of being turned down. Never be afraid of being turned down. Put it in the universe. It may not come from the person you ask, but it will come. Yeah. May not come from the person you ask. And sometimes that's disappointing. But who cares? You want to get it. Yeah. So you get it. Freely share your thoughts and feelings. That's when you know you can be true to yourself and authentic. That you're not scary about somebody hurting your feelings. When you're secure about that, nobody really can hurt your feelings. You can hear their opinion. And, you might think you're in a cute dress and it's not so cute, or you just got a haircut and nobody likes it. But you got to like it, about those things. You learn to say no. That's a biggie. We keep saying that famous 2-letter word, no. And you learn to say no when your character is in conflict with your wants. When you have to sell yourself short to get what you might want temporarily. We're doing that a lot. We're sacrificing our integrity for short-term gains. That's not really being true to yourself. It's being true to a want that you could have later. But your integrity, keeping your word, being impeccable, being on time, those are the things that help shape us to really having a strong internal internal mechanism that keeps us honest with ourselves and true to ourselves. There's one here that I've been struggling with, but I think it's right that you focus on your values than on what society deems appropriate and acceptable. Because society's changing. Fast. I was at a high tea on Saturday. It was beautiful at the Beechwood Gardens. South Africa has all these beautiful things inside of it. But my goodness, the expanse, because I don't know. I'm a baby boomer, so there was a Generation X. There's something after baby boom. I have to look that up. But there's another generation, and there's the generation that's Generation X, and then there's the millennials. Yeah. So at the table was baby boomers, the next generation, the four. The ideas of what we thought was appropriate behavior for ladies, because we're at high tea, and so some had gloves, some had little shorts. We were just like, the span was so big, and we were realizing we really couldn't judge because the pendulum had swung so far. But it was interesting because the millennials were saying, we need etiquette training. It was so deep. We need to learn how to go out for high tea and how to, wear the right thing in the right place. So there is something churning that's saying there are some things we miss, because when we grew up, like, we could be in a room with older people, we didn't talk, because we were told children were seen, not heard, even if those children were 18, 21, 25, 30 with kids. If they were in a room with women who were 40 and 50 and 60, you were there. And now young people, they don't just talk, but they argue. So we've shifted values inside. So of course, a lot of that has caused us not to even really know who we are and what we want and what we need when we're talking about This Is Me. So anyway, you're with Mama T. It's 2 minutes before 8. And I'd like to close this hour with this conversation on, what is it? Knowing what's the value, what's the video name?
The only way you can be successful is to be yourself.
Okay, so the only way to be successful. Thank you, Dee. Dee is visiting with her great-grandmom and her great-aunt tonight, so I'm winging it. But I got a good team. They're helping me. But Dee pulled this out, and it's really, really great. So I do want to share with you the only way to be successful is to be yourself. So with Mama T, Voice of Wisdom, we're talking about This Is Me, being our authentic self.
Even if it means we don't fit in with other people, because when we are not truly ourselves,
Who is saying it?
So
Who is it?
it's impossible for us to be happy. It's impossible for us to be fulfilled. So when you're hanging with people that you really don't fit with, and you get that feeling deep down,